When Margaret Thatcher was elected Britain's first female Prime Minister in May 1979, she set about smashing the existing economic order. She introduced free market policies that helped the country throw off its post-war malaise and shook up the banking world with a flurry of deregulation, making London one of the world's most important financial centres.
She thought the financial services industry was an industry that could flower and blossom and create great wealth for the nation. But I think that the main point would be that she saw Britain as the bankers of the world.
The mainstream of her activity was to move over to market economics and to get rid of the rust bucket legacy, which we've been trying to keep going, of old-fashioned, heavy, loss-making industry and absurd restrictive practices in public sector-owned industries as well. And she took on the profession, she took on the city, she actually believed that people should be responsible in the way they did things. And looking back, I think the main thing she did was modernise.
In 1986, Margaret Thatcher pushed through a series of reforms, the so-called Big Bang, attracting international banks and foreign businesses to the City of London.
What Big Bang did actually was open up the gateway for the American banks to come in and then all the international banks to come in. And we've seen in the last 25 years, London come as probably the preeminent financial capital.
But while she ushered in an era of unprecedented growth, her legacy on economic issues remains divisive, with some arguing her policies sowed the seeds for the 2008 financial crisis.
She deregulated the banks. Shamefully, Blair and Brown carried on with this nonsense. The crisis we're living in today is the legacy of Thatcherism, just like the crisis in America is the legacy of Reagan. We need a more fair society. We need a high investment, high skill economy. And there is no way out of this without that.
Margaret Thatcher's influence on other parts of the economy has proved just as enduring. She took a hard line during strikes in the mid-1980s, facing down coal miners with riot police and crushing the power of Britain's once powerful unions. Her commitment to free markets led her to sell off a raft of state-owned industries, from British Gas to British Airways, and to cut taxes.
She was very keen on privatisation, and she recognised that to have a successful privatisation, whatever rules you created, whatever you did with debt, however you organised the financial structure, in the end it's about people.
It was not in favour of picking winners. It was not about giving large amounts of money to industry. It was about creating the right climate for industry and letting them compete.
She was as tough a negotiator abroad as she was at home, staunchly opposed to the idea of a single European currency, and she refused to entertain the notion of giving up the pound. Her critics and supporters alike would agree that by the time Margaret Thatcher left Downing Street in November of 1990, Britain was a very different place from when she first took office.